since they changed to a new network here at Rolling Hills, the kids have had a couple different improvements. For laptops, they don't have to type in a proxy server every time they're going onto a web page, and then also for our iPods and iPads, they don't have to go into the settings because it'll pop up and say, something with the proxy, which stops their progress. They don't have to go into the settings, go out and then in to a network to try to get that taken care of. So that's been an improvement.
Students now have more access to sites like YouTube and social media, as an example.
Mm-hmm.
How have you handled that in your classroom? What do you guys do in fifth grade to manage students on devices that have that kind of access?
We just set up at the beginning of the year, before they have their hands on the technology, we make classroom agreements. There's just certain things that you are always going to do that are going to be useful with the technology. So if there's already a setup at the beginning of the year that students are to, even as much as ask permission to print, ask permission if they are going to use music in a iMovie video, if they're going to pair up on a computer, they know the rules ahead of time. They work to get the technology agreements together with me, and they sort of police themselves. If they see somebody who looks like they're going on to something, they say, I don't think you're supposed to be going on to that, or Miss Shear, can I go on to this? And they are able to just follow management rules and be able to, on iPods, on iPads, on laptops, manage themselves. It's just front loading, setting up those classroom rules in the way you'd set up any classroom rules. And if the rules are you cannot go onto a YouTube video without asking the teacher first, then they just know to do that, and they do. And we haven't really had any problems with anybody drifting off onto a site they're not supposed to drift off on.
Then they would have to be like, what? How old were people in that?
Weren't they like, they were 25 to 30. They didn't really.
Whenever you see or hear about coffee being shipped, it's shipped in this state right here. So it starts out right here in a big bag is what happens to it.
24?
I think with every student with immediate access to the internet, it's really changed the way things happen in 7th and 8th grade humanities. We're just having a debate simulation for westward expansion, and during the debate, kids are actually on their iPads looking at primary sources, looking at secondary sources, and it's actually changing the dynamic of the debate as the debate's happening, and that's pretty cool. Before it was just study a textbook or another source, and they came into the debate with a fixed amount of information, and this really changes the game. I haven't seen any students not be able to get to a site that I wanted them to get to when they were doing research, what have you. So it's been a lot better.
Shift along the curve that we call a change in the quantity supplied that reflects a change in price, and a shift up the curve that we call a change in supply.
I think the educational value we get from giving them the freedom far exceeds any risk that they might, be off task at 5 minutes during a study hall or something like that.